mathematician, especially when you have the flexibility of answering questions in any way that you know how. Okay? We're going to get started. We're going to do a warm-up. If you remember, we always do a warm-up first. Okay? Here is the question. Do not say anything. Do not say anything, not a word. Don't even say, oh, I know what the answer is. Don't say anything. If you do, that's fine. Here's what you could do to show me that you know what the answer is. When you have the answer, you're going to put a thumbs up on your chest like this. That tells me that you have the answer. Or you think you know the answer, but you're not going to say anything. Here we go. Which fraction model best represents 3 times 1/3? So look at them and try to analyze which one of these represents 3 times 1/3. Good, I see about 5 people who have an answer. If you don't yet, that's fine. Just look at every choice and see if that would match that model. That fraction. 3 times 1/3. When I count to 3, you are going to turn to the person who is right next to you, and if somebody's left out, please include them, okay? And you're going to let them know which letter do you think, which model represents 3 and 1/3, and why. Don't just tell them, oh, I think it's D. You have to say, why do you think it's D? Explain to them. And listen to your partner because they might have a different answer. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, share. Waterfall, waterfall. Thank you very much. I would share out which model they think represents 3 and 1/3. What's your name back there?
Daniel.
Daniel. Which one do you think?
Me and the person next to me had the same answer, and we thought it was B. The reason I think it's B is because when it said 3 times 1/3, there's one of the thirds colored in three circles in B, and one is shaded in, and there's 3 of them. So that 1/3 is that, and also there's 3 of them.
Ah, did you hear what he said? Who can rephrase what he said in a different way, perhaps? Nathan, right? Nathan?
Yeah. It's kind of similar, but I think it's a B also because there's 3 of them, and shaded down, and it says 1 out of 3, and my partner here, he chose D because it's 3, but I told him because 2 are shaded in.
Because this one has 2 out of what shaded in? So these are 2/3, right? 2/3. Okay. Okay. Raise your hand if you agree with both Daniel and Nathan that it would be B. Okay. Raise your hand if you disagree, if you think it's a different one. Ladies over here, you thought it was D, right? Why did you think it wasn't? Huh? B? Oh, okay. And you said D? B. Okay. Okay. Who can tell me? Listen to this question. Okay. If we had to write a number sentence for A, what would it be? So just to let you know, you're correct. Those of you that chose B, we have 3 circles, right? So this is your 3. And how many are shaded in each one? 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3. Right? So this is 3 times 1/3. What's another way that I could have written 3 times 1/3 if I didn't want to do it multiplication? Yes?
1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3.
Excellent. Thank you. I'll write that here. Equals 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. That's another way. Okay, very good. What would be one way to represent this model right here? Think about it for a second. What would be one way to represent this model right here? Turn and tell the person you were talking to a little while ago. How would you do that? Waterfall, waterfall. I want somebody new. Jasmine.
4 times. Yeah, 4 times 2 fourths.
Where did you get the 4 from?
You get the 4 from because all the circles have 4 in it, and you get the 2 fourths because every circle has 2 fourths in it.
Repeat again, the first 4, where do you get the 4? You said 4 times 2 fourths, right? Where do you get this 4 from?
You get that 4 because there's 4 circles.
Very good, 4 whole circles, right? Okay,
And you get the 2 fourths because there's 2 fourths shaded in each circle.
very good, because there's 2 4 shaded in each one. What's another way I could have written this? Yes, Ben?
2 fourths plus 2 fourths plus 2 fourths.
Very good. What else? How else can I represent 2 fourths? Is there another way I can represent 2 fourths? In other words, what's an equivalent fraction to 2 fourths? Yes, Julia?
1/2.
1/2. How did you know that?
Because 2 fourths is a half of.
Because 2 is half a 4. Right? Very good. So you could say this, you could call this 4 times a half. That would be the same thing. Right? Or you could have also said 2 fourths plus 2 fourths plus 2 fourths plus 2 fourths. Or I could have also said half plus a half plus a half plus a half, right? Okay? Turn to your partner and tell them what would you write to represent this model right here? Turn to your partner, tell them. And waterfall, waterfall. When I count to 3, whisper the number sentence that you would use to represent C. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 3 times 1/2. Very good. 3, because there's 3 of them, times 1/2 is shaded on each one, so this is 3 times 1/2. Very good. Now for the last one, go ahead. One more time, tell your partner, what would you write to represent B?
4 times 4 times 4 times 2.
And waterfall, waterfall. Raise your hand. Actually, I'm going to call someone. Kaden, what would you write to represent this one? 2/3 times 4? Could it be written like this, boys and girls? 2/3 times 4? What's the difference between 4 times 2/3? Can you do that? I can do that. It's the same thing. You'll get the same thing. So you can say 2/3 times 4 because it's 4 times. Or you can say 4 times 2/3. You'll still get the same answer. Okay? Say it again? Yes. Very good. Can you repeat that? Commutative property. Yeah. Okay? Very good. Excellent job with this, boys and girls. We're going to take a look at today's word problem. I'm going to help you unpack it using the cubes method. Okay? And then I'm going to cover it because when I give you your word problem, you're going to use the cube method yourself and prove to me that you know how to use the cube method. Okay? Which will be easy because you're going to see, we're going to do it together first. Okay? Michaela? Awesome. That's what I love to hear. I know you guys do. You guys are probably experts at it now. Okay? All right. So can I get one volunteer to read this out loud first, please? Yes, Fernando.
Nathan filled 5 glasses of 2/3 liter of soda in each glass. How much soda did they use?
Good. Now we're going to all read it together. Okay, ready? On the count of 3, we're going to start. 1, 2, 3. Nathan filled 5 glasses with 2/3 liter of soda in each glass. How much soda did Nathan use? Okay, now listen to me. Read it one more time. Okay? If someone next to you is talking, tap them. Because I hear some talking. Thank you. All right, I'm going to read it one more time. Try to capture it again. Nathan filled 5 glasses with 2/3 liter of soda in each glass. How much soda did Nathan use? Okay, let's start off with our cube strategy. C-U-B-E-S. C, what does the C stand for? Yes.
Circle.
What am I going to circle?
The numbers
Very
5
5 and
and 2/3.
2/3. Thank you. So we're done with C. U, what does U stand for? Yes.
Underline.
Underline. What do we underline? question. Very good. In this case, can you all read the question for me?
How much soda did Nathan use?
How much soda did Nathan use? That is the question. Good. B. What does B stand for?
Box.
Box. Can you tell me what's a box? What are into box? So you're saying each. Okay. That's sort of like action words. I can see maybe perhaps how that can be an action word. But is there another word here that is more of an action word? Yes?
Filled.
Filled. That shows action, right? Okay, so filled. Okay. Any other action words? Yes?
Maybe how much, because it's showing us that we need an exact answer.
Okay. I can see how that logic can bring you to box that one in. Okay, very good. E. What does E stand for, Michaela?
Eliminate any useless.
In this case, and some questions will have useless information, some won't. So don't feel like you always have to eliminate something because you might eliminate something that you need. It's only, you kind of feel it when you read it and you're like, what? It's, for example, if I would have said something like, Nathan filled 5 glasses with 2/3 liter of soda in each glass. Nathan also likes to play his Nintendo Switch. How much soda did Nathan use? Right? You would know that the Nintendo Switch part there had nothing to do with it and you could eliminate that. Do you see any excess information here?
Yeah, it could be like soda, because what if it's like drinking
Okay, I mean, I guess that could be something that it could be water, it could be juice. But let's leave it. That's not as, we don't have to eliminate that. Yes?
Another thing that can be eliminated is Nathan's name. It doesn't have to be.
It could be anyone, yeah. But we don't want to get super technical, right? Because then you're going to say then we can eliminate of, or we can, let's not get technical. It's only like sentences that you don't really need in there. Okay, so let's just leave that one alone. And what does the S stand for? Solve. Okay? So now, this is the part where I'm going to cover it. I'm going to give you your paper, and I want you to solve it any way that you know how. You're going to be going to the tables. The first thing you're going to do when you get to your table is you are going to first do the cubes on your word problem. Okay? Do the cubes, and then go ahead and start solving. I'll walk around checking for cool strategies that can be shared so that we can all learn together. Okay? First thing you're going to do is use the cube strategy to unpack it. So I want you to show me proof of that, doing basically what we just did. And then you're going to solve the problem any way you know how. If it's drawing, perfect. Whatever you want to do. Remember, this one here says share our ideas using pictures, words, tallies, tools, etc. At first, I don't want you to share with each other. You're going to be really close to other people. Some of you might be right in front. I still don't want you to share yet. I'll tell you when you're going to share. Okay? Don't start sharing until I tell you to share. Question? No, the problem is already written for you, right? It's right here. Okay? It's just a smaller version. You're going to show all your work. Then you're going to have a place for the solution means answer, so you can just give me the answer. Number sentence is writing something like this. And an explanation. First I did this, next I did that, finally I did whatever you did. Okay? Alright. I'm going to dismiss a row at a time, and you get to choose where you're going to sit. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. You guys are 5th graders. I know you're responsible, so please choose wisely. If you don't have a pencil, when I give you your paper, you may grab one of mine. If you have your own, use your own, and find a place to sit. I'll start off with this back row. Here you go. Go find a place to sit. Anywhere where there's chairs is fine. Except for the 2 students that are going to share. I'm only going to have 2 students share today. That's going to be Fernando and Miley, because most of your work is represented with their work. Okay? So most of your work is already going to be represented. So you don't come with anything in your hands so you don't get distracted. This is the most important part of this lesson, when you get to see other people's strategies, okay? So everyone come to the rug quietly. Don't bring anything except those two students. Bring your papers with you. All right. So first of all, give yourself a pat on the back because you all did a fantastic job. You guys were all on task, doing a great job, trying different things, which is exactly what math is all about. If something doesn't work at the beginning, erase and try it again. Okay? And that's exactly what a lot of you were doing. Excellent job. So first I'm going to ask Fernando to come up and then Miley will share hers. Okay, a lot of you did it the way Fernando did, which I think is great. But we're going to discuss a little bit more. Go ahead, Fernando, and tell me step by step what you did. Let me write your name up here first so we know this is your work. This is Fernando. All right, what was the first thing you did? Well, it says Nathan filled 5 glasses with 2/3 of liter of soda in each glass. How much soda did Nathan use? Okay, what was your first step?
The first step is I do 5 cups.
Okay, raise your hand if you did that as well. You drew 5 cups as your first step. A lot of you did, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and draw mine like this. They don't have to be exactly like yours. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Then what did you do?
I put 2/3 in each cup.
How did you do 2/3? Did you actually just write 2/3 or did you cut them in thirds?
I just wrote 2/3 inside.
Can I see real quick? So he just wrote, okay, 2/3 inside of each cup. So he said 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3. Okay. Why did you decide to do it that way?
Because it'll just be easier than cutting them up. It'll take longer.
Okay, so he said, I know what 2/3 look like. And it'll take longer if I cut them and shave, so I'll just write 2/3. So he took a little shortcut there. Okay, go ahead. And then what did you do?
And then, since this is just the how much is in, I just multiplied 5 times 2.
Where did you get the 5 from again?
Because there's 5 cups.
5 cups. So you did 5 times 2/3. Is that what you did? 5 times 2/3. So this kind of goes back to what we were doing over here, remember? Sort of? Okay. And what did you get? How did you solve this?
Since you don't really need to do that, I just did in my head 5 times 2 equals 10, and then I added.
So you just said 5 times 2 equals 10, and then you just put the 3? So if you multiply 5 times 2 and got 10, why didn't you do 5 times 3 and got 15?
Because we only filled 2/3 of 3.
Huh. Okay. What do you think? What questions might you have for Fernando? Are there any questions or any connections? Go ahead and call me.
This is kind of like
Like D. Let's see. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Except these were 4, and then 2/3. Yeah, exactly. It's just the whole number changes, right? Yeah. So real quick. So if we were to continue and get an answer, can you scoot over? Get an answer for D. And I don't mean to switch from one, but since you brought it up, what would our answer be for this one if we were to continue it?
8/3.
Okay, just double checking. All right. Okay. Okay. Does anybody know what type of fraction this is? When you have your numerator larger than your denominator. Very good. What is an improper fraction? What is it? Say it in a, I just kind of said it, but can you say it in your own terms? A fraction that's improper. Okay, yeah, you got me there. All right, we'll take a closer look at improper fractions in a second. Any other questions for Fernando? Does somebody not see how he got 10/3? No? Excellent. Let's give him quiet claps like this. Quiet claps. Excellent. Okay. All right. So we'll leave that one like that. We'll come back to it in a second. Now let's have Miley come up. Check this one out. This one might blow your mind. Okay, this one might blow your mind if you did it the way Fernando did it. This next one might blow your mind. Okay, so Miley, M-A-Y-L-L-Y, right?
M-A-Y-L-Y.
All right, here we go. First step, what did you do?
First I drew the 5 cups.
5 cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, why did you draw 5 cups?
There's
Okay, go ahead. So some people could do it like this. Some people will actually have to see it split up into thirds. Miley wanted to see hers split up into thirds, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm actually a visual person as well, so a lot of times when I'm dealing with fractions, I need to visualize it like that as well. Okay, so now you have them in thirds. Now what did you do?
I shaded
Two what? What are these called?
two thirds.
2/3, because they're in thirds, right? So you shaded in 2 in each one, right? Because the question says, Nathan filled 5 glasses with 2/3 of liter of soda in each one. So here's 2/3 for this one, 2/3 for this one, 2/3 for this one, 2/3 for this one, 2/3 for this one. 2/3 liter, right? Then what did you do?
Then,
Check this out. This is the part that I want you to see.
Then I found out. Well, I have already shaded them in, but I couldn't. I found out a way how to get the answer. So I got one of these and I put them over here.
Look what she did. She took 1/3 from one of the cups and put it in here, right? And that gave her 1 full liter, because 3/3 is 1 full liter, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Yes? She took 1 liter, one third, I'm sorry, not 1 liter, 1/3 of a liter from this one, poured it into this cup, and now she has 1 whole, right? Okay, then what did you do?
Then I put these two over here.
Would you mind if I move this one over here instead, because just so that it could be easier for them to see? She had 1/3 here, so she moved this one, she poured it over here, right? Now, this cup is filled. Now she has another hole, right? Another hole, and this one went away because she poured everything out. 1 liter, 1/3 went over here, another third went over here. So this one's gone. Then what did you do over here?
Then I got one of these and
Okay, then she got 1/3 from this cup, poured it here, right? Got her 3rd liter. Okay, that's another hole. So we have 3 holes, right? And what did you do with this?
so I found out that you can do anything with that. So I got one third.
1/3. Yeah, this is just 1/3 remainder. So in total, because the question is asking how much soda did Nathan use? Well, 2/3 when you put it all together, right? Kind of like what Fernando did. If you pour it all together, you get 1, 2, 3 holes, and 1/3 of another liter. 3 holes and 1/3. Now, these 2 answers are correct. Who can tell me why? Wait, before we do that. Any questions for Mike? No? Is it pretty clear how she did that?
Yeah, some.
Right? Yes. What questions might you have?
I know how she got it right.
You get what she did? Right? Because she was looking to fill each cup. Because she knew that if she filled each cup, that would be 1 liter. Because it says 2/3 of a liter. So that means that 3 out of 3 would be 1 whole liter. So she did that. 3 out of 3 was 1. So she was playing with the cups and the contents inside. Yes?
I think my answer was not good.
Okay. That's your opinion? She thinks that this one is more clear than Fernando's? But I'm telling you, both are correct. There's one that's preferred. Teachers prefer one over the other, but they're both correct. Yes?
I got scammed. I didn't get my money.
You didn't get what?
I got scammed. I didn't get my money.
You didn't get your mind blown? No? Okay. But do you understand it? Okay, that's then, for me, you got your mind blown. All right. Who can tell me the relationship between 10/3 and 3 and 1/3? Let's see. Yes, Jasmine.
If you split up 10 and 3/3, you still get the same answer because if you split up that, it's going to equal 3 and 1/3.
Say it one more time. How do you get 3 and 1/3 out of this?
I'm sorry. If you split up 10 and 3/3, 3 and 10/3, if you split that up, then you get the same answer that Miley got. It'll equal 3 and 1/3.
Okay, I kind of see what you're saying. But isn't it true, boys and girls, that 10 divided by 3 is like saying, 10? Isn't it true that 10/3 is the same as saying 10 divided by 3?
Yeah.
Would you agree? anytime you have a fraction, that's division. You're dividing, right? So check out what happens if I actually do 10 divided by 3. How many times does 3 go into 10?
No, 3 times.
3 times, right? 3, 6, 9. Right? We can't go 12 because that's too big. So that's 3, right? That's 3 times. How many are left over?
What?
1. 1 what? We're talking about thirds.
1/3.
1/3. 3 and 1/3. Do you see that? That's how you can get your answer from this improper fraction. How many times does 3 go into 10? Well, that's 3 times because that's 9, and then I have 1 left over. But since we're talking about thirds, it's 1/3 that is left over. You get it? Do you see that relationship? What questions might you have, Danny?
It's not a question, but I get it because I was thinking when you were asking what relationship they have, and I was like, oh, because each for this a word a question we have to see, and for this one 1/3 like 2/3, the third is a whole for this one.
Yes.
And another one it could be
fifths.
4, yeah, fifths is a whole, and
Very good.
there's 5 cups, and then there's 3 in each. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, and we add the 1/3 of the remainder.
Of the remainder.
And
Makes sense,
we
right?
can't use the one that's X'd out because it has nothing in it.
You just make complete sense out of the whole problem in your head. That's awesome. And that's what we like. That's why we like CGI, because you start connecting the dots. Like, oh, wait a minute, I get that. I get why that is 3 and 1/3, right? So, give me a thumbs up if you did your problem either something similar to Fernando's or to Miley's. Give me a thumbs up if you did something similar. Most of you, yeah, were somewhere here or here. Okay. Question. Real quick, we have a question from somebody here in the front. Go ahead. Oh God, what flavor is the soda? Any flavor that you prefer. All right. Listen up, boys and girls. Here's what I'm going to ask of you. I'm going to try to make a bulletin board out of our work today and put it right at the entrance of the main building. I don't know if you see where we have the Way of Counsel bulletin board that looks all trashy now. So I'm going to make a bulletin board out of your work today. Okay?
Oh, that's nice.
So here's what I want you guys to do. You're going to take your papers. Most of you finished, and if you finish, that's fine. If you feel like you've done your very best job and you got either 10/3 or 3 and 1/3 and you wrote up your explanation, you can't turn something in without the explanation written. If you've done all that and you feel good, just give it to me before you go back to your classroom. If you haven't, take it home for homework, finish it at home, and give it to me tomorrow so I can make a bulletin board to showcase your